Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to try to keep the whiteboard in the shot so you can see what I'm doing on all of the math work. I hope yesterday you were okay because I did outline everything on the math pages that we were going to do. Today we're going to look at changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, the exact opposite of what we did yesterday. I've written down the improper fraction of 21 over 6. As we talked about yesterday, we can break this down. We need to find wholes plus a part. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down 6 over 6. That's one whole. Then I'm going to write down 6 over 6. That's two wholes. Well, I know that 6 plus 6 is 12, so I have a little bit of a way to go to get to 21. I'm going to write down another 6 over 6. So 6, 6, 6 is 18. We're getting much closer to that 21 mark, and we don't have 6 more pieces to use. So I'm going to write this as one whole, two wholes, three wholes. This equals 18 over 6. If I do that subtraction question now, having trouble with my little whiteboard here, and I do in a little sidebar, 21 over 6, subtract 18 over 6, I get 18, 19, 20, 21. I have 3 over 6. This is the part of the fraction that is the remainder. So I'm going to say 3 and 3/6. The first thing you need to know also is that right now, as I said, until the very end of this unit, we're not going to worry too much about putting these things into lowest terms. That's the last step we need to worry about. So right now, I've taken 21 over 6 and I've broken it into whole pieces. So I know 6 over 6 plus 6 over 6 plus 6 over 6 becomes 18 over 6. My original fraction was 21 over 6. I subtract 18 over 6, which gives me a remainder of 3 over 6. So the improper fraction, 21 over 6, becomes the mixed number 3 and 3/6. So we can take the time to do it that way, or we can look at, again, a simpler method. Simpler if you understand long division and remainders. If you have difficulty with that, and a calculator is not always our best friend during this, because our calculator will give us our remainder as a decimal, not as part of a whole. So if you're stuck with the long division and you're not sure what to do, I recommend sticking with this method. Grade 8s, you should be able to go to this next step, which is using division. So again, I have my improper fraction of 21 over 6. And I'm going to do some simple long division. I put 6, long division is 21. Now what everybody will notice in the notes that will follow with this on the Google Classroom is they had a really hard time writing a long division question on the Google Docs. I could not get this little function to work where 21 wouldn't end up way over here. So if it looks a little funny, I apologize. I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out and it just wouldn't work. So now I'm going to do this long division question. How many 6s can fit into 21? Well, if I look at this part originally, how many 6s fit in a group of 2? Well, none, so we can leave that alone. How many 6s fit into a group of 21? Well, if I do multiples of 6, I know 6, 12, 18, 24. 24 is too big, so we can't use that. We have to use this 18. What did we multiply 6 by to get 18? We multiplied 1, 2, 3. So 6 times 3 gave me 18. I'm going to put that big 3 right here. 6 times 3 is 18, so I'm going to subtract 18, and I'm going to get a remainder of 3. This becomes our new numerator. So our whole number is 3. Our remainder, which is our new numerator, is also 3. And our denominator is 6 because the denominator always stays the same. So we get 3 and 3 6, exactly what we got last time. Let's try one more example. Now, I'm going to try a little bit bigger number so that you see why using the division method can be our friend. If I have, for example, 77 over 4, I'm going to have to write down a whole heck of a lot of 4s, about 17 or 18 of them, to get close to 77. So if I have a huge numerator in comparison to the denominator, the question is much easier to do as a long division question. So my long division, I'm going to do 4 into 77. How many times does 4 go into 7? Well, it only goes once because 2 4s are 8, and that's too big. So I'm going to put 1 here. 1 times 4 is 4. And I subtract. 7 subtract 4 is 3. Bring down this other 7, and I now have how many groups of 4 go into 37? Well, 4 times 10 is 40, so that's too big, but we're awfully close. 4 times 9 is 36. Again, if we subtract, we have a remainder of 1. So this becomes my whole number, which is 19. The remainder becomes my numerator, which is 1. And what's my denominator going to be? I hope everybody just said 4. So in my original estimation, I was even off. I said about 16 or 17 times, I believe, but it was actually 19 times. Writing out 4 over 4 19 times can take a really long time, and it's easy to lose count. So you're better to use this long division method. Most of the work I'm giving you grade 7s doesn't have this large of a difference between the numerator and the denominator, so you can use the original addition if that's easier. Grade 8s, you're going to have a little bit bigger, so you will have an easier time using long division. That's it for today. You have a few questions of this on the Google Classroom, and again, I have some review questions of fractions that we've already done. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.